We'll get a battle between two of the top teams in the East as the Knicks will welcome the Pistons to the Garden for the first time this season. Now, Detroit has won 3 straight on the road. Knicks in the need of a statement win since they were blown out by the Pistons the last time they met. The Pistons have dominated the Knicks in those 2 matchups this season, winning both games by 30-plus points. Both those wins came in Detroit, of course, and then tomorrow the Pistons will not have Jalen Duren or Isaiah Stewart. Remember, they will sit out due to those suspensions from the Hornets game. And so when we think ahead to tomorrow night, we're going to have basketball back. What is at stake for the Knicks on Thursday, Doggy?
Well, I do think that the Pistons can't complain about a couple of guys out because Towns and a couple of guys did not play when the Knicks last played in Detroit. So that's the way. I think the fact that this is the first game of the second half, if you want to call it a second half, I think that adds a little drama because they haven't played in a week. Mm-hmm. It's a highlight game. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that the Knicks, as you said, got blown out twice, beat the Pistons last year. Pistons kind of look at the Knicks as their next step. You know, everybody's got that team where they have to overcome to advance in postseason, and I think the Pistons look at the Knicks as that kind of team. But again, it's a regular season game at the middle of February. I still don't love the Pistons in postseason play. I called it last year with Cleveland. I thought they were a regular season team. Indiana beat them in the first round. And I kind of think in a lot of ways, well, they were the second round. I kind of think in a lot of ways Detroit's as a regular season team. I don't think they got enough offense. I don't think the Pistons have enough offense outside of Cunningham, Duncan Robinson, really, who's going to make big shots for him in postseason play. So I still think the Knicks would beat them in a 7-game series.
I'm with you on your questions about Detroit because they do not have a secondary scorer outside of Cade Cunningham that can go and create his own shot. You need that in the playoffs. There's not a team, I think short of maybe the Derrick Rose Bulls, that even got to the conference finals with one guy being responsible for creating all offense. But to your point about how important tomorrow's game is, it's critically important for the New York Knicks to send a message. Not just because there's no Stewart and no Duren, but Jalen Brunson's worst game of the season was in Detroit 2 weeks ago. 4 of 20 with Ausar Thompson hanging off of him. Like when we talk about toughness, yeah, it's going to be Stewart and Duren, but it's also Ron Holland and Ausar Thompson. And you can't get punked again. You can't get punked on your home floor by the team that says, Steve, it cannot happen.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't view the Pistons as getting punked last year. I thought
No. I'm saying the Knicks have gotten punked in their 2 games this season.
Got you.
The Knicks can't afford to get punked on their home floor. This is their last meeting of the season.
Well, I will say this. The first meeting, when you lost by 30, you didn't have Josh Hart. The second meeting, when you lost by 37, you didn't have OG and you didn't have Cat. Now, the New York Knicks are winning 78% of their games when their starting 5 is together. When one of them is out, let alone more than one, they're barely above 500. So we know this. That's a concern for me. I'm looking at the Detroit Pistons squad that's beaten them by 31 and 37 respectively in the 2 meetings they've had against them this year. I'm seeing them shoot 54% from the field, 47% from three-point range, and I'm asking myself, can they do that during the postseason? Would they be that accurate, that efficient offensively during the postseason? I don't know that to be true. But again, Knicks are not losing to these guys. They're getting their asses kicked. And so knowing that Thursday night is your last meeting of the regular season, you want to send a message. And the fact that Stewart is Duren going to be out too?
Yeah, he's suspended.
So they're both out. You cannot lose this game. If you lose this game at the Garden, even though it's the regular season, at the Garden, without Duren and Stewart, I mean, I'm going to lose all hope. I'm going to lose all hope against them, against Detroit. If you can't beat the Detroit Pistons, if you're the New York Knicks, fresh off of 2 ass whippings this year against them, and you go up against them and you cannot beat Detroit without Duren and Stewart, without your front line, there's no reason for me to believe they could beat Detroit come postseason.
That's why I don't think they just have to win. They have to send a message. If you win by 5 against a team that's this short-handed on your home floor, being motivated, that doesn't strike any fear or any doubt in the minds and hearts of the Detroit Pistons. You have to send a message in the same way that they send a message to you.
I'm not going to be averse to that. I'm more concerned about them losing because they got their asses whipped so bad. I mean, I'm not sure they're going to win tomorrow night. without their front
should
line.
go- you
That's how
should-
nervous I am.
You know what? You should go front row, right next to Spike,
Don't
give a
tempt him.
campaign speech and make an announcement right then and there, Steve.
Well, usually when I'm courtside, it's on the opposite side of the court by the visiting team's bench. You know, I don't think the Knicks want me looking at them if they messing up and you sitting right there. I'm staring right at you. I think it'd be a problem. So I don't want that. Plus, I have other commitments tomorrow night. So I'm not
Wear the little bag. The little bag you like. Sit there. Is it on? Is it? What's the
about
name
my
on?
man
What
base?
channel?
It's on Prime. It's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
And get some. Who's doing the game? Well, what announcer?
See, this is the problem. This is the problem with the new NBA contract. We're asking.
You
these
can't
kind of
find out
questions.
who's doing
That's
it.
what Mike
It might be
Wilbon was
Stan Van-
complaining
it might
about.
be- it
Where
might-
the hell is the game? Who's calling the game?
it might be Stan.
Wilbon complains if the game is on ESPN.
I love my man Wilbon, the Godfather, but you're right.
Get the bag. Have him come over and announce your candidacy to run for political office.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, I'm focused on basketball. I'm focused on
right.
but I approve that message. You know what I'm saying? I do.
We're just hoping for a Knicks win tomorrow night,
Let's
and
hope
maybe
for
by
Knicks
double
win.
figures. Also,
Interesting game. I'll say that at the very least, it's an interesting game.
should be fresh legs. Obviously, coming off a week off, like this should be the time where the Knicks show up against the Pistons again without two of their best players.
I will say this. You know, when the college basketball season was going on, and then there was some stuff that was happening down college football, rather, with Lane Kiffin and all that stuff. As you know, I talked some mess about Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? Oxford, Mississippi, and stuff like that. And those folks dared me to come down there. And I promised them that I would.
That's where you're going?
So I am showing up tomorrow night. I will be in Oxford, Mississippi.
I'm going to talk to you during the
You
commercial
understand?
break.
You are hot stuff.
I'm going to Oxford, Mississippi. It's a wonderful, wonderful coach there, coach at Ole Miss. I promised her I would be there. I'm showing up. That is why I'm missing the Knicks game, because I'm showing up
give you
to
credit.
Oxford, Mississippi tomorrow night.
Wow.
Not on Delta.
Wasn't expecting
That's
that.
Right.
That's right. Right now, back to the Pistons. Pistons have a 5.5 game lead in the East over the Celtics. Coming up here on First Take, as we discuss Oxford, Mississippi a little further, the second half of the NBA season is about to begin tomorrow. As we said, which storyline are we most intrigued by? Of course, we have a take that you absolutely have to hear. And could we...
What we're seeing right now is not working. There's no question about it. The fundamental theory behind a draft is to help your worst performing teams restock and be able to compete. If teams are manipulating their performance in order to get higher draft picks, even in the lottery, are they really the worst performing teams?
Is there any talk of taking draft picks away from teams that do this as opposed to finding them?
There is talk about every possible remedy now to stop this behavior.
All right, Mark Cuban has now entered the chat here, the former majority owner of the Dallas Mavericks, weighing in on the tanking issue, saying the NBA has been misguided thinking that fans want to see their teams compete every night with a chance to win. It's never been that way. When I got into the NBA, they thought that they were in the basketball business. They aren't. They're in the business of creating experiences for fans. Tanking isn't the issue. Affordability and quality of game presentation are. Okay, so he's saying tanking is not the issue. Do we agree with Cuban? Should we embrace the tanking in the NBA?
That man is out of his damn mind. All right.
Friend of the program?
Mark Cuban.
Friend of the program.
That's fine. Okay, I'm sorry. My fault, Cubes. My bad. No, he's not completely wrong, but he's misguided, right? When you have 10 teams tanking, the individual member franchises are not going to be upset about it because they think they see light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to lose this year so we can go get A.J. DeBanso or Boozer, one of those other guys. They don't have a problem with that from a year basis because that is a strategy. The problem is, as a league, you cannot run a league that way. I will take you back to the first time I was on First Take. It was the day after the season opened. Me and Stephen A. were sitting here, and actually on our way here, and the federal indictments came down on gambling.
That's right.
That threatens the integrity of the game. Mm-hmm. So you cannot have teams purposely losing and having all of that in the same specter. That's why Adam Silver is saying anything can happen, whether it's draft picks, heavy fines, whatever. That's why you can start seeing people saying, or coming along to the thought of, let's take away the draft. Because losing cannot be a viable long-term strategy. We've known it's happened. Mm-hmm. People tank for Akeem Olajuwon, they tank for LeBron, they tank for whomever. But it has gotten so widespread and has become a strategy that, hey, yeah, you're charging fans $2,000 for courtside seats when they have no business winning that game. But it's so much more than that. And because of the gambling guys, you cannot have your integrity being threatened.
So
it cannot be a strategy.
just for clarification purposes, you're disagreeing specifically with Mark Cuban about what?
He's saying tanking is not a problem. He said tanking isn't. It is. Because this is at the core of this. It is entertainment, it is business, but it's supposed to be competition.
Okay.
Can you imagine what Pat Riley must have said or did yesterday when he heard these quotes, drinking his coffee down there in Miami? A guy who goes out there every single year trying to win, never has a number 1 or number 2 pick in the draft. And Riley has meant a lot more to the NBA than Cuban has ever meant to the NBA. Hall of Famer, 4-time champion, 5-time, 1 in Miami, great with the Knicks, played forever. Riley, who always is competitive. Number 2, from Cuban's perspective, he said in his quote, well, I've tanked, we tanked 23 seasons on the owner team. There was many a time, 4 or 5 times. He didn't even give you a specific number where we were going through tanking. Let me ask Cuban a question. When he had his team not trying, did he give his fans a discount? Did he make sure when they came to the arena that night, they didn't get the Coca-Cola didn't cost $10? The parking didn't cost $30 outside American Airlines Arena? That when they sat in the upper deck watching their team trying to lose or not trying their hardest to win, did he give them a discount? Hey, you know what? Family, come in. We'll pay you $50. You can watch the game. We're not trying to win tonight. He did nothing of the sort. Did he put it on his ticket plaque? You know what? Here are the games in the second half of the year, these 10 games that we're going to play that we're not going to try, so we're going to charge less money for those games. He did not. That is a disgrace, what Cuban said. Well, who cares about tanking? It's not that way in New York. People don't care about the Nets in New York. You can't count them because nobody cares about the Nets. They are not a factor in New York City at all. Nobody cares. If the Knicks did this on a day-in, day-out basis, year after year to get a draft pick, 19,594, you don't think they go crazy after a while about losing?
They go berserk.
Oh, it drives me crazy what Cuban said. Again, 1 point for Cuban. Did he ever give back a discount to his fan base when he knew the game that night didn't mean anything for his team? Say, you know what? Come in for free. Game don't mean anything. I'm not taking your money. Sit there, watch the game, go home. Won't cost you a penny. Have a nice family night.
It's easy to say.
He never did that once.
It's easy to say that the game isn't affordable when you don't own a team and you don't benefit from the revenue that ticket sales represent anymore. It's very easy to sit on that ivory tower right now.
Why can't both things be true? Why can't tanking be an issue and also the affordability and the entertainment of a game? Why can't he be right in that aspect and maybe not in the aspect of
he
the
can
tanking
be right about both things. I don't think he's right here, but I'm not going to. It's one thing to disagree with him. It's another thing to excoriate him because he's very philanthropic. He's very charitable with his money, his time, et cetera, et cetera. Throughout the years, Mark Cuban has done a lot of good for the NBA, a lot more good than people give him credit for, and he's brought attention to a lot of issues that other owners would never want to bring attention to. They want to hide behind the cameras and leave others to do their dirty work. That wasn't Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban would speak up and speak out. So we got to respect the man in that regard. But I do disagree with him here because I think it's more about competition than it is about anything else. And to talk about affordability and experience, well, the experience is the competition. When you see a thrilling competition, 2 teams going at one another, trying to take each other down, that's the entertainment for the fans. When you see a boxer go up into a ring, if one boxer is running all the damn time and he's never there to be hit, the fans will start booing. They'll go crazy. They might throw stuff into the ring because wait a minute, we came to see a fight. That's what people want to see. They want to see that competitive fervor. They want to see opposites colliding. They want to see that level of tension. And so when you dismiss that, of course he's wrong. What I would say, however, is that tanking is not nearly as big of an issue as load management. Now, load management can be a part of tanking, but load management is the real issue. It's one thing, you know what, all right, we stink. In the last month of the season, we ain't trying to win a game because we're trying to land the number 1 pick. We've seen that over decades. What we haven't seen until recently is I'm healthy, but I need rest. I don't really feel like playing today when I had 4, 5, 6 months off for the year because I went home in April. And somehow, some way, we here in November, December, and I need a break. I don't need to play a back-to-back. I need this rest, and you're a healthy scratch. When stuff like that happens, that's when trouble has arrived because why are you not playing? I paid my hard-earned money. I traveled here. I paid money for parking. I paid money, with soda, popcorn, hot dogs, all this stuff. I'm here at the game. I paid for my seat, and you're not playing. Why? Really? Oh, by the way, you're not signing no autographs either. You're not mingling with the fans. You're just walking in and out of the tunnel. You're there in street clothes when we paid to see you play, and we didn't find out you wasn't going to play until we got to the arena. That kind of stuff is much more detrimental to the game than somebody tanking near the end of a season. Tanking at the beginning is ridiculous. Tanking at the end of the season when you got an opportunity to compete, to get a high draft pick, it's understood.
How about what Utah did last week? We discussed this. They didn't play their guys in the fourth quarter of a game in Orlando. Well,
Horrible.
Come on,
Horrible.
that's they only got a $500,000 fine. I'm not sure what the fine limit is.
And one of the times they did it when they were winning.
Against Orlando.
They won the game.
Miami and Orlando.
Well, I will tell you this.
Terrible.
When I was at All-Star, someone approached me and said,
This year or last year?
No, a few days ago, and said, you know how you stop this? Revenue share across the 30-member franchises. You take away the revenue share for the teams that tank. You hit them in the pocketbook where it really hurts. $500,000, that's going to cost some low-level staffer their job. That doesn't hurt the owner.
Doesn't hurt the team. Yeah.
Hit them where it really hurts. If you're going to lose on purpose and impugn what we got 30 teams and we're all supposed to be in this business together, I'm with you, Steve. Lowe's management hurts. And the players take the blame for that. The teams don't take the blame for this. The teams need to take ownership for the strategies that they're doing. And because when Philly did it all those years ago, Stephen A., it hasn't worked. Nobody has actually seen the benefits from long-term tanking. It's just a long-term Ponzi scheme. In 3 years, we're going to be good. And that way, you'll never have to be accountable.
It's hard to really generalize it or really zoom in, especially when you have teams like 3 quarters, then they're pulling them in the second half, pulling them in the fourth quarter, pulling them for 10 minutes. It's really hard to regulate. So Adam Silver's got to find a way to fix it.
And I thought the NBA had a big weekend. I haven't been on here with you guys. I thought the NBA had a big weekend. They're all-star. I'm sure you discussed it. Their all-star game Sunday, the process of the 4 quarters was much better.
His boy Kawhi Leonard balled out.
How about Kawhi?
I was thinking about this.
I was shocked. I almost had a heart attack. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
This is going to sound crazy to you guys. I love Leonard. I was thinking about this, watching him score the 31 in the 12 minutes. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
You just haven't seen him really play to that.
I have Denver in the Clippers series last year. I love the guy.
But you haven't seen him play to that level.
He's a phenomenal player. He's just an absolute expert at getting paid while getting time off. He could give lessons on it.
Yes.
He could give lessons on it. I mean, I want him to teach me. I mean, how the hell do you? I mean, this dude invents ways to get paid for not working.
Today's Straight brought to you by Stephen A. Smith.
Speaking of load management, Kawhi Leonard has kind of been the face for it. Coming up on First Take, the second half of the NBA season has got storylines galore. We'll tell you why one of them could be the key in deciding who wins the entire thing. More First Take after this.
Said if you're going